Good day everyone, welcome back to Bread and Pastry Production Grade 8. So we are now in Module 4, Practice Occupational Health and Safety Procedure. Before we proceed to our new lesson this morning, let's have a pretest first. Let us identify if what we have already know. So direction, identify if what type of hazard does the following picture shows. Number 1. Okay, so what do you think is this? So that is chemical hazard. Next, number 2, cat. So the cat is a biological because of the rubbish. Next, number 3. Number 3, the wet floor. So the wet floor is an example of physical hazard. Okay, next. Number 4, lifting heavy object is an example of, yes, very good. So ergonomic hazard. Next, number 5, I don't like it when you talk to me like that. If you heard something that you cannot understand or you cannot handle the words. So this is an example of, yes, psychological hazard. Then number 6, the trash can, because of the dirty trash can and it is full of garbage. So this is an example of biological hazard. Okay, so let us now proceed to our topic this morning. So hazard and risk identification and control. So hazard, when we say hazard, what is it? So when we say hazard, it is a term used to describe something that has the potential to cause harm or adverse effects to individuals, organizations, property, or equipment. Okay, so how about the risk? What is a risk? So when we say risk, it is the chance or probability that a person will be harmed or experience an adverse health effects caused by a hazard. Okay, so there are types of workplace hazards. So number 1 is the safety hazards. So safety hazard, it is caused by inadequate and insufficient machine guards, unsafe workplace conditions, and unsafe work practices. The second one is the biological hazard. So biological hazard, it is caused by biological waste such as medical waste, microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, parasites, viruses, and etc. Like for example, the trash can in the meat, which is caused by parasites. In the trash can, the bacteria. Okay, so the third one is the chemical hazard. Chemical hazards, it is caused by exposure to chemicals in the workplace such as solid, liquid, vapor, or gaseous substances, dust, fume, or mist. Number 4 is the ergonomic hazards. Ergonomic hazards, physical condition that may pose risk of injury to the musculoskeletal system, such as repetitive and forceful movements, extreme temperatures, and awkward postures arising from improper work methods and improperly designed workstations, tools, and equipment. Like for example, the man who is lifting heavy objects. Number 5, physical hazard. So physical hazard is factors within the environment that can harm a body without necessarily touching it, like noise, sleep, strips, falls, vibration, energy, weather, electricity, radiation, and pressure. Like for example, the wet floor. So wet floor is an example of physical hazards. Number 6 is psychological hazards. Those that are basically causing stress to a worker. So this kind of hazard troubles an individual very much to an extent that his general well-being is affected. Like for example, drug abuse, violence at work, interpersonal relationship, shift work. So that is an example of psychological hazards. Key factors that influence the degree of risk include how much a person is exposed to a hazardous thing or condition, and how the person is exposed, like for example, breathing in vapor, skin contact, and how severe are the effects under the conditions of exposure. So, risk assessment. So, risk assessment is the process where you identify hazards, analyze or evaluate the risk associated with that hazard, and determine appropriate ways to eliminate or control the hazard. Okay, example, identifying hazard, the slips because of the wet floor. So evaluating the risk, head injury, so that safety measure or the action that we are going to do is wipe water spills immediately. And then number 2, germs and bacteria buildup because of the unclean tools. So the risk, stomach ache. Safety measure, wash tools every after use and keep them in their storage. Then number 3, fire because of the water and the toaster cords. So the risk, burns. Safety measure or the action, always organize electrical cords and keep water away from them. Okay, so that's all for the types of hazard, module 4 about practice occupational health and safety. Thank you and God bless everyone.